It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is three professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Hello and welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Josh. We here on Advanced Answering Techniques like to handle your questions in a way that we feel is definitive and final and totally comprehensive. We wring every single drop of blood from this particular beet. Or turnip. You can't get blood from a turnip, people say. That's interesting. I think you can. And we do on this podcast. I've got two other co-hosts with me. They help out quite a bit. Some would say they're the main attractions on the show. One of them is Caleb.
He's back.
Caleb's back.
He's back. Confident Josh is back.
Was there a lack of confidence previously?
Well, the last few you've been kind of like
lower
down
energy.
On just on how we answer questions. You were like, maybe it's okay, but this week we're back.
This week
we're
it's
confident.
back.
We're squeezing blood out of turnips.
Yep.
We're squeezing, I'd say, beet blood out of turnips. Kind of seems impossible, but we can do it.
It's something that we have taught ourselves to do. There's a particular muscle you can flex, and then that is possible. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You could learn how to do it too, listeners, but you won't.
Some would say we're making an incision on our hand that we're squeezing the turnip with, and that's where the blood's coming from.
It's something
and it's
of
not
a
actually
trick.
Beet blood.
People think we're just doing a trick.
They're wrong.
It's wrong. This is not any kind of prestidigitation. This is real magic.
No one is brave enough to taste the blood to see if it's beet blood or human blood. So no one has been able to prove us wrong.
But we do have somebody who's willing to lick a rock. And he's here with us on the podcast. And his name is Gabe.
He's back. I'm back.
Rock licking Gabe is
old
back.
Rock licker.
Gabe, I just wanted to
you're not gonna mention it at least that Caleb's
what?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Can you tell from listening that he's not present with us here in the room?
Right.
Oh, yes.
That's a good thing to bring up.
I'm using remote viewing it's like remote viewing, but it's with my voice.
Uh-huh.
It's remote talking.
Yep.
Yep.
It's called a phone call.
It's a phone call.
Oh, okay. It can ruin the magic.
Well, I was gonna add a little magic by telling people what you're doing, which is you're at vampire camp.
Yes. Yep, vampire camp.
Caleb, every
disobeying
year,
the rules.
Well, you're up during the day.
I'm up during the day.
Well, I think they sometimes, it's like, we're not asleep as soon as it gets dark,
Well, yeah, I'm kind of a night owl when it comes to being a vampire.
Or something, maybe something of an early bird, really.
Yeah, that's...
Well, yeah, but that would be, for a vampire, that would be, okay, fine, whatever. You win. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, okay.
Vampire camp, I can't think straight.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like it would be that great.
Every year you go back, and I think often our feeling is why it always seems like kind of a hassle.
I just don't feel like
vampire camp.
I haven't been able to do all the activities.
Yeah,
And I come here, I spend the money. I spend the time here, but then activities come up and I'm like, I'll just stay in my cabin.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a coffin.
Okay.
I stay in my coffin, and so I end up staying in the coffin a lot.
Yeah. And because of the success of Sinners this summer, they have kind of a Mississippi Delta theme going on there.
Yeah.
Lots of blues, which is really...
Yeah, and blood gumbo is a big thing at camp.
Yeah. I mean...
Lacking seasoning, though. There's no garlic in the gumbo.
Right.
But you're... Yeah, well, that... But
just bloody gumbo.
But I mean, as a vampire, you're sort of used to that. Or
I'm
do I have
supposed to like it.
do I have it wrong? You're not a vampire? You just like to go to vampire camp where you get to pretend to be a vampire?
I'm trying. That's what I keep saying is I'm not good at it. That's why I keep coming back to see if I can finally do it. Be part of the I don't know, the cursed ones.
Right.
Yeah.
The damned.
It just sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It just has always sounded like so much fun. So
Yeah.
I understand that. Anyway, that's what's up. Caleb's at vampire camp. That's why he sounds like he's not in the room with us.
He's a little out of it. Sorry, and I hate to go back to it, but which cabin did you get into? Were you a Dracula or a Nosferatu?
I'm in Nosferatu this year.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, but this Nosferatu he just wears a barrel for his clothes.
What?
Just a barrel.
Just like a barrel, because it's Mississippi Delta, so he's like really poor.
He's really poor. Yeah.
He's like, but he's it's confusing. He was rich, but then he became poor.
Yeah.
And
he came in on a boat, and that's how they move around. The Nosferatu, they move around on a boat. So he came to this country in a boat, and there's probably an extra barrel on the boat.
Well, there's an extra barrel. He was a riverboat gambler.
There you go. That ties in.
He was so wealthy for a while, but he lost all his money because he wasn't able to drink enough blood to be focused enough during the gambling.
Hi, my name's Count Orlok.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Something like that.
I don't know if that's an accurate Cajun accent.
Well, it's not Cajun though. It's Delta.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
Delta.
I'm not that good. But I was wondering.
It's still not an accurate Cajun accent.
I was about to tell you the same thing, actually.
But also,
what you're doing is not an accurate Cajun accent.
I was wondering, because I know that he was slated to make a guest appearance at Vampire Camp, but is Interview with her there?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
it's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know that much about him. He hasn't done his talk yet, so
interesting.
Yeah, there's some really. There's some really annoying, there's all the kind of fey, kind of
What do you mean?
Little. There's some vampires that are a little light in the loafers.
Oh, yeah, a little effeminate, some effeminate vampires.
Yeah, some Twilight.
There is something intrinsically sort of, that way.
Yeah, but these
about
are
it.
more.
Okay.
These are putting it. It's kind of okay, we get it.
So
that's always a part of this.
You're pretty defensive there about that.
Yeah.
Well, as a vampire, sometimes you're just going to have to resort to kind of getting in there real close with another dude.
Yep.
It's quite
sometimes
intimate.
Sometimes there's not enough coffins for everyone to have their own.
Yeah.
Is that a problem this year?
Okay.
Been a problem.
For you, it's a problem. For other people, it's a feature.
Right.
I guess. I mean, yeah, that's partially why I'm staying in my coffin so much. Is I don't want to have to. I prefer to be on the bottom.
This is a bunk coffin, so there's 2 levels in the coffin.
Wrong.
Oh no.
There's not enough coffins. There are bunk coffins, but mine is not. It is not one.
But you do still prefer to be on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because then you have the ground there,
That is nice. That's what's nice about being on the bottom.
We've got a big question today. We do. Oh, I forgot. We do have some Spotlightify comments. We actually have one that came in late for 2 episodes ago.
It.
That was episode 87.
Skip it.
No, I wanted to.
Ruthless.
I thought, Gabe, I thought you in particular might appreciate this one. This is from Joy. The question is, or the comment rather is, okay, I take issue with it being weird to lick rocks. Geologists often lick rocks. It's science to lick rocks. It's a sign of higher intelligence.
What? I am thrilled that we did not actually end up like a rock skipping that Spotlightify comment. Thank you, Joy. I didn't know that. I mean, I guess you can lick a rock. Actually, I was just licking rocks with somebody.
No, I licked the rock.
Caleb licked a rock. That's what it was. We were out in
You wouldn't lick it.
out in a field, and we found some. That was the one person that wouldn't lick the rock. I couldn't remember how that played out, but I know that we had a rock, and we were curious about the mineral makeup of this rock, right?
Saltiness of
the
the rock.
saltiness. So we were
It
trying
appeared to be salty.
determine saltiness. So that I can see the scientific utility of using your taster on those round, gray, hard stones.
Yes, and I felt so scientific when I tasted that. When I licked the rock,
Yeah.
I basically had a white coat,
gonna say,
coat on.
As your tongue left your mouth, I don't know,
darted
lab
out,
coat,
ventured out.
Yes,
It ventured out.
Yes, a lab coat unfurled around your figure, practically.
Mm-hmm.
We have one more comment. This is from last week's episode. That was episode 88. Turn myself in. This is from Pamela.
Who?
Pamela.
Oh, mommy.
Forget about Aaron's responsibility. Aren't y'all now accessories to the crime? She's suggesting that
Okay.
that it has nothing to do with Aaron, us having in some way caused the explosion. Are accessories to the crime. I guess that's possible.
That's just part of that bad system.
I think so. I mean, yeah, it is. I still will stand by. It's just sometimes people fall through the cracks in a bad system like that.
So that might be true. The Pamela here is trying to make us accessories in a crime where we didn't really do anything out of the ordinary.
So we just described a system that was already in place.
Right.
Yeah.
And then someone happened to use the system to do what the system does.
And I'm wondering now, does Pamela have some, is she complicit somehow? And she's trying to deflect. Who knows?
To throw shade kind of in our to attract attention to us. That's hard to say, but ultimately, in a very real legal sense, we couldn't possibly be accessories to it. If we are responsible, then it's not a crime.
Right.
It's not the legal standing of the situation is not a criminal act.
Right.
So we couldn't be accessories.
Yes. Right.
We could still be like morally or ethically, at extension.
Sure,
in
but
some
that's
way
not that big of a deal. I don't really care.
I don't care about that either.
We might be like add-ons to a crime, not like an accessory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like a plug-in for a crime.
Yeah, a plug-in for a crime.
Like those, what are they called on Crocs? It's not like we're not like a necklace, but we're like the things that people put on.
Yeah, what
Crocs
are those?
Like a charm.
It's a charm.
I don't know what
it's a charm. It's something with like gator. It's
a skin.
No, it's not.
If we're talking about video games,
that's Fortnite. That's not Crocs.
Yeah, we're like a skin for a crime. But I'm not so hung up on the Croc thing.
I really want to know what they're called.
Thinking more generally about the idea.
I really want to know what they're called.
So you have gators and Crocs.
No, but it's like something. It's something about gator. It's something with gator in it, or I can't remember.
Okay.
Gatorade.
Yeah.
They actually, I didn't realize they were.
It's unprecedented.
Adding gator.
Gatorade. It's like an aid to the Croc.
Yeah.
It's called Gatorade. For some reason.
Yeah, it makes it look even worse than it did before.
Yeah. It plugs the holes too. You need the holes.
Oh, okay. It's not related to gators. I looked it up.
Oh.
Unprecedented. I looked up information on the podcast in the record. Do you guys want to know what they're called?
What are they called?
Yeah.
It's disappointing. They're called gibbets.
That's what it is.
Ugh.
Yeah, gibbets.
Yeah.
That's like the guts. That makes me hungry because I'm at vampire camp.
I think it's actually like
giblets.
Yeah, I think it's actually Isn't
By the way,
that
gibbet is a place where you hang someone, right?
I think it is.
yeah, but it's
Yeah. So
it's
still hungry.
yeah, but I think it is actually Yiddish,
Yeah.
Mm.
like a kibbutz. What's that?
The
Kibbutz
kibbutz is
is
a place where
settlement.
people get stolen
Okay.
from.
Oh,
No,
really?
go ahead.
They get stolen from? Anyway, it's
Anyways.
gibbets.
Anyway, speaking of sort of denigrating a people en masse, we have a related question
Yeah.
today.
So we're done with the Spotlightify segment.
That's it for Spotlightify comments, and we're moving on to the main question today. The question is from someone you know and love. It's Joy.
So I've been seeing, actually, a little while ago, a lady was on those electric scooter things, and she crashed in our driveway while I was outside and broke her wrist. And it was really sad, and we were helping her, and she was riding her son's electric scooter. And then I think it was maybe later that day or another day, a little kid almost got run over by a teenager in an electric scooter. I just have been seeing a lot of electric scooters around town, and I don't like it. I think it's silly. I don't approve of it. They're driving them without helmets, and old people and young people, fat people, skinny people alike. It's dangerous for them all. And my question is, we need a name for these people, a mean slur of like, oh, those scooter people, we don't like them. What would you call them?
I think that right off the bat, I love that Joy is this is meaner than we've really ever seen her.
It's meaner than I've seen her.
Mm.
Honestly, to summarize this question, Joy is looking for a way to add insult to injury.
Frequently.
Because
True.
it begins with her telling a story about somebody breaking their ankle
Right.
on one of these scooters
Yeah.
in front of her house. And she's like, you deserve more than just
Yeah.
this.
Well, the point being that if maybe there was some kind of mean slur, less people would use these things.
It would
because she's
discourage.
worried for the well-being of these people, which
Yeah.
she says is the same across the board, young, old, fat, or
Right.
skinny. But I would have to postulate something here that a young fat person is going to do a lot better in a crash
Yeah, they're
than
going to be much
than an
bouncier.
old skinny person.
Yep.
I mean, there's definitely those are two sliders
Yeah.
Mhm.
that you can adjust for different effects. Depends
Sliders.
on how
Maybe
fat
that's
someone is.
Sliders?
Josh,
A young
maybe
person who's
that's
very,
the
very
name.
fat and very, very young. If you
Yeah.
put the age slider all the way down
Uh-huh.
and the fat
Mhm.
slider all the way up,
Okay.
that person's in trouble on a scooter.
Because they.
Well, yeah, they're probably not getting on it. I mean, the only scooter they're getting on is a Rascal.
Okay.
Mobility scooter.
Age
Yeah.
is all the
And
way
they're going to
down.
be just in the basket
Yeah.
being
Should
toted
we-
around.
Do you think we should try to get sponsored by Rascal Mobility Scooters?
We do mention them
Talk about them a
more
lot.
than just about any other product.
I like that I think it is. It's interesting that it's a mobility scooter. It's called a mobility scooter. It seems sort of redundant.
Yeah.
I guess if it's the only way you believe you
But-
can be
Yeah.
mobile.
So
But-
you would suggest it should be an immobility scooter?
Yeah, it's kind of an immobility scooter. I'm immobile except for this scooter.
The scooter is scooting the immobile around.
Right. So it's already
Right.
a scooter is plenty
Descriptive,
evocative,
yeah.
Descriptive of what. So to say that it's a mobility scooter, I mean, it's sort of like they put it on the other scooter
Yeah.
people to be like, well, ours are mobile too.
Yeah. So
It really is shots
Yeah.
fired against
Yeah.
the
All the
rest
other
of the
scooters.
scooter community.
but
It's
these
like
aren't
those churches you see that are like the Church of God. And you're like, right, because all the other churches have nothing to do with God.
yeah.
So,
Or a whole Bible church.
Yep.
I like-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or anything like that. I was gonna say though, we're not talking about rascals though. These are the like more upright ones. You're standing, and
Yes.
it's like like an electric scooter. It is funny. You start to say e-scooter, and then you actually want to do physical harm to your own body.
Yeah.
When you start
Yeah.
to say that word, so then you just go to electric scooter. But that also sounds like really archaic.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. It sounds like we're kind of impressed that it's electric.
Yeah. Right. It's like, oh, that's got
Yeah.
electricity in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You use lightning to go forward? Is that
Wow.
how do you harness the power of lightning to propel yourself forward upon two not parallel, but what's the other word that I'm looking for?
Horizontal?
Wheels one in front of the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
One in front of the
Now-
other wheels.
Now, how do you get the zaps from my cattle fence into the scooter? You know?
Right.
They're just completely dumbfounded.
Yeah, it does sound it sounds that way. But
Yeah.
that's the language that we're stuck with, which is that's the nub of our question today, is these technologies are creating situations where we need new language.
We need new language.
Yep.
the
And
current
you said slider earlier, which I thought could be a good
I
candidate.
think that is good. It does make me think of being hungry for sandwiches or burgers.
Yeah.
there's something
which I'm
kind
hungry.
of positive about it.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
slider and a positive association. Maybe we want to go a little darker, a little deeper.
Yeah.
A slugger.
Yeah.
A slugger.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, okay, so what is usually if you look at the etymology of slurs,
Of
which
some
is
of the
definitely not
worst
something
words.
that I've done at any point, but like if you look at where these words generally come from, isn't it like based on the behavior or like a negative character trait of that people group, right? So these
Yeah,
people,
like their skin color.
right? Or I mean,
Some of their worst faults, like having
Yeah.
that skin.
right? Obviously.
Right.
Well, okay, but that one's different. That one's its own special one.
Okay.
But then there's like other, other ones that come from different places.
Well,
Anyway,
frequently, I mean, I agree that it's, but a lot of times what happens is there's a name for a set of people already existing. It's maybe sort of neutral. And then over time, as
Yeah.
perception of those people starts to codify into a single thing, then people just use the name that has already been used for those people, but it starts to have a negative
right?
connotation.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
That seems a little bit like how
It kind
that
of depends
mechanism
on
works.
the people using the word, whether or not it becomes the class of people using the word, whether or not it becomes a thing, and the context in which you're using it.
Yeah.
What do you mean by class?
I mean the kind like. I mean, if you want to look at
Like the category, or did you
specific
mean like the actual
examples.
socioeconomic class?
I guess I meant socioeconomic. I mean, that's definitely one of the examples.
Okay.
Would be that,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't have to be, or just the yeah, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
everyone grouping up on each other.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about the Polacks,
Polacks.
the
Polacks.
Polish, the Poles.
But you call them a Pole, and
Polak.
that's not expressly.
Yeah. Or a
Yeah.
Polish person.
Yeah.
But
It could be, but yeah.
But Polak is it's just a term that means Polish person,
Right.
that
Yeah.
that gained a negative connotation, and that people
Yeah.
started to lean into the
And,
negative connotation.
People over time, people were like, "Wow, these people are dumb. These people are stupid." And that kind of became the whole. The more time we spend with these Polacks, the more
Yeah.
clear it is that they are.
I see that you have really been going deep on those neo-Nazi threads, Gabe, that you're getting really.
I have not been
It's
spending.
interesting.
Absolutely
Okay.
any time on
I-
those threads.
I mean, I
I don't
should
even
say,
know what that is.
I should say, as one of Gabe's accountability partners, I have seen that that his time on those
Okay.
threads has declined substantially.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good. Okay.
I haven't
This is
even
just
been on them
latent.
before.
Okay.
I can't believe
all right.
this. This is actual libel.
This
Once it's transcribed, it'll be libel. Or is it
But you can't help now.
what is it?
Spotify is
Libel is
making
in
all
print, right?
podcasts.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's slander is spoken and libel is printed.
yeah.
So-
I think so.
So anyway, but I was gonna
It's
say,
slander.
but something because so kind of what I want to do more is not like pull and pull lock. That's all good fun. That's great, but let's focus on something like if
You
we
want to get into a different word? Okay, I think I know where you're going.
I was gonna say, what if it's something more in the vein of like if you call an Irish person a tater tot,
Right.
something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, where it's like maybe a little more A to C.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
slider is still playing with like the motion of scooter or something, but if you
Right.
call your friend whose name is like McElhenney, his last name's McElhenney,
Okay,
and you
just inspiration just hit me.
Yeah.
What if we call them a charge barge?
A charge barge.
I really like
Yeah.
that. I do really like
You know, that's like both like
Yeah.
barge, like charging is like you're charging forward, but it's also electrical. Barge is like a thing you use to
Yeah.
cart your huge fat carcass around
Right.
on, but
Sure.
also you can barge in on
Exactly.
barge.
It has this sort of like, ill-mannered,
Yeah.
meaning attached to it. I do like that because it
But
is generally, that's the thing with the scooters that we don't like, is that they're dangerous to the people riding them, of course, but also dangerous to others.
Right,
Potentially.
but I guess it's sort of kind of about the device and not the person.
Okay.
Yeah. But
She said she wants the people.
yeah, but
be-
it is metonomically like you would say, if somebody who is piloting a car is a driver,
Sure.
Yeah.
right? They're driving, they're a driver. So if you're if you're piloting one of these things, the charge aspect of the thing
Uh-huh.
is like part of their identity on it. So that to me
Right.
works. Charge barge is a bit of a mouthful,
It
to be
is.
honest.
Charge
Mhm.
barge.
And I have a feeling that that's
Would have
going
to
to be friction on getting
have
this
to
thing off
be-
the ground.
Charge barger too. They'd have
Char-
to be charge bargers.
Yep.
Which,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little okay. That's
I do think
blue
that-
sky. No
I
wrong answers.
know. I like the like the area. I like
spitballing.
where we're at. Charge barge. I do think you could throw that out occasionally. Like,
It's
check
not
out
bad.
Yeah,
this just charge barge. The same way you might say like camel jockey.
yeah, right.
And you
It's
got
Totally.
it's not your go-to, but it's
No, you have other go-tos, and that's what we want to get to.
right.
Is the go-tos.
right.
But I think also you gotta see how it handles when you get out there and you yell it. You really go at the top
Yeah.
of your volume there, and you got to make sure that it's clear that it can be shouted across
Yep.
a street, like
Yep.
honestly
And they
across a full city street.
And no one's confused about who you're referencing.
Right.
Exactly, it's extremely clear. Yeah, so I'm still coming up blank on pretty much anything.
The charge thing is
Okay.
yeah. What
Now-
about idiot?
Yeah, ooh, that's pretty good.
Like
I mean-
like an e-scooter.
Kind of. It's
kind
like,
of a Ren and
sounds like
Stimpy.
Egypt, which is like what Irish people say, what tater tots call dumb people.
Tater shots called bullocks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, dude, look in the mirror. But the, I guess, so you said something about a jockey earlier.
Yeah,
that
something.
actually-
You said something about a jockey.
Paired
It
with
came up.
paired with what Caleb was talking about with the charge thing, I was like, hang
Yeah.
on, this
Yeah.
this exists
Charge
already.
jockey.
Shock jockey.
A shock jockey.
A shock jockey's
Yeah.
A shock
not,
jockey.
It's not bad
I think
That's
it's
not too
I
bad.
actually think shock jockey is great.
because you're getting the charging and I mean, I don't know how much of it do people think about.
I went too strong. I went too strong because that to me works really well, but there is a little bit of work
There is
to
because
get from the charge and the E to the scoot.
exactly
And-
how front of mind is the electric part of it
Yeah.
in people's.
It's more of
You
a.
know?
It's more when you experience this, you're experiencing it as a scooter and not a thing that is charged specifically.
What
Right.
about this? What about this? Okay, just go with me here. The scooter kind of zips around, right?
Yeah.
So what if we call them zipper heads?
Is that a term that's already in use?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. You guys might be more aware of that stuff because you kind of are in that realm. I'm not aware of it, but
I don't really like that one. I don't think it's actually. I don't know. There's just something about it that seems.
You guys know that it's not. It's already taken.
I don't know. It just seems really like it. It seems like it's probably just entrenched in all sorts of horrible tragedy or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It seems like
Well, we'll keep working. Maybe we can think of another good one.
Yeah, but I think that's the right area.
Yeah. The wheels are little. Is there anything there?
Yeah.
They're not normal size wheels.
They're small wheels.
What if we call this one's it's getting back into that.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, I'm starting to like this a lot as it goes on.
Wow.
And
That's pretty quick.
And for certain riders, it's more appropriate. But what if we call them scoot fruits?
Yeah.
A scoot fruit. Look at this scoot
See,
fruit.
but
I think.
so look.
I think the phrase "look at this." That's got to help you to kind of get the area that we're in. Is this going to work? Look at this
it's
scoot
good.
fruit.
Yeah.
It's good, but if you have someone that's on just a regular scooter and then you have someone that's on an electric scooter and they're scooting by you at the same time,
Listen.
and you say, "Look at this scoot fruit," it's not there's not the
Nobody feels
specificity,
Nobody feels the. So I mean, that's tricky, but I think in general we don't feel the threat from the other scooters. I think people know.
Yeah.
Where the danger is.
Yes. And
Right.
I think honestly at this so there's two ways that you can approach it. You can approach it from the rider perspective, which is if you're riding on a scooter, then you are going to have to actually pretty quickly get comfortable with people calling you scoot fruit.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to become okay with that. Also, the sort of person who's as mean as Joy wants to be is going to, I think, be a little more indiscriminate with this.
Yeah.
With the application of it.
If you're going to have...
They will view... Sorry, just
No.
really quick. They will view all scooters as a threat because they're going to assume, simply because some of them actually are a threat.
That's the
to
value. That's that's kind of the unacknowledged value of a slur.
Of a prejudice-based slur. Exactly.
Right.
Is that it is
It simplifies.
There's a lot of collateral damage, and it is simplifying.
I guess that's true.
And we're breaking
if you
eggs.
have two Irish people walking down the street, and one of them you don't like, and you say he's a tater tot.
Yeah.
Then the other one.
We're losing the audio a
Yeah, you
little
sound
bit. When I
quieter.
think you might be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's better.
That's
Hello?
better. Yeah.
Is that a reference to an Irish child?
I mean, I just thought of it
Tater
as
tot?
kind of any of them. Most of them are kind of shaped like that.
I mean, it's best to say it gains most purchase on an Irish child.
sure.
It
You say,
definitely does.
look at
Yeah.
this tater tot.
Look
and
at
there's
this
some
tater tot.
there's some red-haired freak
Yeah.
swilling whiskey from like this 4-year-old child swilling whiskey from a bottle of Jameson.
Some soulless
Yeah,
ginger.
he's got whiskey cut with breast milk.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how
they
he
raise
kind
him.
of does a little Arnold Palmer situation. It's like 1/3
Perfect.
breast milk, 2/3 whiskey. That's my ratio. That's my chosen ratio.
I'm liking Scoot Fruit quite a bit.
Scoot
and
Fruit.
I've got to also say that I like some of the variations. Scoot Brute. You see somebody
Yeah.
who's
Oh,
like
yeah.
maybe
Scoot
a little
Fruit is
more
good.
substantial.
And I guess that's good. I mean, I don't love that it's like piggybacking on another slur for another people group.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it's
true.
like, and you're kind of attaching that this activity is intrinsically that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can kind of mold it, like Josh is saying, it's kind of because of the oot ending.
Yeah.
It really works with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like you could,
Ooh,
like, if there's a
ooh.
gas-powered scooter, you can call it a scoot toot.
Yes.
If there's a,
If there was.
you
I
know,
think if there's like a snobby one, a scoot snoot.
yeah, see, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's
If you
kind
see
of
a
lazy
tree, if you
because
see a
it's literally
tree
just
riding a scooter,
taking scoot, which is, you know, it's really just removing E and R from the
Okay.
device. And then, you know, but look, these things take time.
I think it's that's it. That's sometimes we can't answer it.
No,
That's true. It's kind of a refrain that you have. Is sometimes you have to figure it out for yourself, or
Like,
you're just gonna have to wait.
it's a developing situation. Well, because it has
well,
to be.
I don't know how many think tanks there are for,
Yeah.
you know, slurs.
Yeah.
This might be the very
Yeah.
first.
I mean, I think we're
unless
representative
someone-
of the think tank here.
I bet you know. Actually, there probably was a think tank for like Star Wars slurs. You know, like the writers.
A
I don't
writer's
know. There's
room.
not a writers' room. Yeah, the writers' room for the first Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Nerf herder.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
second
exactly,
one. That's,
right?
episode 5, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting though. I mean, is there anything else that's like really popping in at this point? That's really that you're really thinking? Because I think Scoot Fruit, Shock Jockey, and what
The
was
two that you said.
those
yeah,
are the only
those
ones
are
I
good.
remember.
I mean, those were the prime.
But you
they're
said
good.
Charge Barge.
A charge barge.
Okay, so I remembered that one, and I thought that one was pretty good too, Caleb.
That was good.
Yeah, I don't like it anymore. It sucks.
I know it's
'cause
not
you
as
could
good
say
as Shock
Scoot
Jockey
Fruit
or Scoot
and
Fruit.
Shock Jockeys,
Yeah.
those are better.
They're definitely
those are better.
It suffers from the same fallacy of Shock Jockey without being, I think, quite as yellable. Charge barge.
Charge Barge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's kind of true. And yours are better to mix up too, like Scoot Shocky, or Jock Scooty or Scoot.
Is there?
Scoot
Maybe
Jockey.
we haven't.
Scoot Jockey's pretty good.
Scoot Jockey is pretty good. We haven't explored maybe other terminologies for a scooter. Is there anything?
I'm just
else?
Wheels are coming. You know, now
Well,
I'm
so
thinking
you
about
have to-
wheels.
Little wheels. Josh mentioned little wheels, and we didn't really go into that at all.
Yeah.
We sort of just noted that and then moved on.
That's good
But
though.
another
I like that.
fact about the scooter in the electric scooter that's different than the normal scooters that you don't have to use your leg.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't have to use your leg to propel yourself. You do have to use your legs. You do have to use your legs to use a scooter. Yeah, you do need them there.
Right.
You can't just go no. I mean, you could do it no legs.
Legless?
But, legless. If you've got the handlebars really far down.
Lego-less.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Leg go leg.
Leg go left.
I was just thinking of
It's true.
Legolas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's kind of fruity too.
He's a little
Scoot fruit,
leg
yeah.
go less.
Yeah.
Is that true? It does
No,
go
leg
less.
the leg goes less. That's true, but the scooter goes more.
Yes, but that's not.
We don't want to
we don't care
emphasize
about
that positive aspect
I
of
was
the
just
scooter. We need
No,
to
definitely
paper
not.
over. We need to
Yes.
paint over those
Yeah.
positive aspects of the scooter.
It could be like something about like having a weak leg,
Yeah.
or like Yeah, I don't know. Weak leg. That's my offering. Is what we call them
Atrophy,
weak leg,
atrophy legs. I don't
little
know.
legs.
Yeah.
See, that takes some work to
Little
get to.
little
Though.
wheels,
Yeah.
little legs. Um,
Yeah, this is really hard.
smallies. What if we call them smallies?
Yeah, smallies.
I,
That wins. That takes it. That's good. Nailed it.
that one's not in use already.
Yeah, smallies. I don't think
Is it in
so.
use?
It's not in use.
I don't know, Gabe. You're kind of the expert on these things, so
You're the one
you
on the
tell me.
forums, Gabe.
I guess I'm confused about how that would not already be used for certain people.
I know it's something that gets said
I
about
feel like if you just
fish that you throw back.
said, okay, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was thinking
Smallies.
about. Yeah, I said people, but I meant fish.
Fish, yeah, little smallies.
I was just wondering how that could. Also, it's just, it doesn't immediately evoke somebody on a scooter.
No, but like we said, it can be used for a lot of different. There is gonna be, what is it, collateral damage
Yes.
with these things.
Which, yeah, we've
So-
acknowledged is these things take time, and there's going to be collateral damage.
Again, in this situation, it really has to be said that that's a feature and not a bug,
I think
right?
so. Yeah.
If we're talking
Right.
about oppressing a group of people,
Based on something as silly as their choice of their mode of transportation. Right?
then I think that's part of it. That's just what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we could just call them scooters because if you think about what do we call people that ride skateboards
Skaters,
or
boarders.
skateboarders, right?
Yeah.
So we could just call them electric scooters.
Yeah, that does. There's less collateral damage there.
It's really
Totally true.
It's really to the point.
Yep.
Look at this. Look at this electric scooter.
Exactly.
That works pretty well for me. Take a look. Check out this electric
Oh,
scooter.
It is
actually-
a mouthful. It
out
is a
this-
mouthful.
Check out
I-
this electric
I
scooter.
think I actually just figured it out.
Okay.
I think I actually did
Okay,
just
okay,
land.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
I think you call them scootards.
Scootards.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Thanks so much for listening to Advanced Answering Techniques. If you'd like us to treat your questions this way, please send them as an audio file to advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com. We're looking for messages about a minute in length. Guys, anything else that we need to deal with right here at the end? I feel like we answered that question pretty well, Scootards.
We should probably just go ahead and apologize. We'll just say, I'll just say I'm sorry.
Sorry
Yeah.
just if
Just like kicking
What for,
off,
Gabe?
like kicking off this whole. I think this is just going to add generally more hate and division in the world. So
Just think about the people that are uniting around their
That's-
hatred for the
that's
scooters.
true. But there's probably about 12 people that are uniting over this, hearing this, and then they're going to be out there shouting it. I assume at absolutely everybody that
you're
they see.
going
on these
to
things.
be hearing these
Yeah.
terms more and more. I would love to for listeners, for eagle-eared
Yeah.
listeners, to keep an ear out for people using this term out in the world. I think it's going to catch on.
Yeah,
Don't be afraid
guess-
of some of the shove, shock, jockey, charge barge,
yeah.
some of these
Yeah.
other terms. Use them
Well,
as
I
well.
think-
But scootard is what we're kind of putting all of our weight behind.
And I did
We're
just want to
landing on
say
that.
I am sorry for my part in it, but also this is all Joy's fault. This is all her doing. So
She wanted a mean slur.
It
know.
is. It is.
Yeah.
We delivered big time.
yeah,
And I think Scootard will stand the test of time. But I do want to, I want to issue a challenge to people who ride electric scooters to come by my house and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you
I think that's a good idea.
come by Caleb's house and then see what happens? And
Yeah.
and why don't you mess around and find out? and
Yes.
come by Caleb's house and just see what happens.
Yeah.
I want you to, exactly.
I guess listen closely while you're going by.
Well, yeah.
And
I might be inside, so you might have to see more than hear, but
no.
keep
I
your
would
eyes
really
peeled.
on this particular episode, as with all episodes, but this one maybe especially, I'd love to see any listeners get involved in the Spotlightify comments here and let us know some of the terms that you think of that you think might be useful. I'd love to just see those comments fill up with mean slurs for electric scooter riders.
And don't be careful about where you're sourcing these. Just go for
it. It's better to ask forgiveness and ask permission.
Yeah.
Right.
So shoot first, ask questions later.
And stay tuned for next week's episode where we ask for forgiveness.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.